Everybody, and welcome to the class. Thank you for connecting. I think we had a little delay there, but now we are live, so thank you for your patience. Happy Friday. I hope that you will have a good day and a good weekend. So today we will continue with a class, an English class, and the structure will be very similar compared to the previous classes. Thank you again for connecting. I know it's difficult to learn English, but hopefully these classes will help. I hope we have no problem with the connection, with the internet, and hopefully there's no big disruption with the dog and with family as well. People are working from home. So this is the plan. We will do some listening today. So the activity or the agenda for today is to really focus on a listening exercise at level B2. So we have an audio and you can try some exercises. That's very interesting. Also, we have an article in relation to the Suez Canal there was a problem with the boat, so this is the article for today. And also we will check the listening, so I will show you the listening exercise from the B2, and that will be the activity for today. And depending on time, we can continue with phrasal verbs and we can continue with idioms if we have time. This is the picture on the left of Dublin on my Instagram account this morning. So this is a very busy area of Dublin, and there's some nice graffiti on the wall, so maybe you enjoy the art and you enjoy the picture. So on Instagram I have pictures every day of Dublin and also some tips for English, and that's just an extra picture there. You can see it's pretty nice, it's quite good, but the sky is very grey. And the Instagram picture or the Instagram account is @miglior_inglés if you want to connect. There's also Twitter and YouTube as well, so that's all the social media accounts. This morning we had a specific class in relation to speaking. So this morning at 9 o'clock we had a specific class in relation to we have a lot of notifications. A specific class this morning in relation to speaking, and tomorrow we will continue with the same class. So tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning Irish time we have another class in speaking, and if you want to attend you can put a comment here, or you can leave your message if you want to attend tomorrow's speaking practice. There's a maximum of 10 people and there's a small fee of €1, which is very cheap, and it will focus on conversation and correction. Okay, so that's the plan for tomorrow, but today we will begin. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we will begin with the introduction document. So this document is the most important document. It's in relation to all the aspects of English. First, if you want to connect with the Zoom meeting, this is the ID and this is the code. Some people prefer to watch the class on Zoom, and the two possibilities, Zoom or Facebook Live. Some people can participate using Zoom, and if you want to ask a question you can participate, write the question in Zoom, and that's the code and the ID. And also on Facebook Live, if you want to leave a comment and say hello, I can reply or I can see your comment after the class. Okay, so that is the plan. So this document, also subtitles are available if you want to follow me. If you want to follow my conversation, you can read the subtitles and the captions. The majority are correct, but there are some errors in relation to the subtitles, so be a little careful. I hope you can understand me. I hope I do not speak too quickly, and I hope that it's clear, my explanation, and you can understand me. I know we have people with different levels of English, and we have people from different parts of the world with different languages, so I really hope you can understand me, and I hope there is no difficulty here. Okay, so this document is the introduction document. This is the most important document in my opinion. This is the foundation, this is the base, this is the content of English. There are 3 sections for me. The first section is the use of English. The second section are the tenses, okay, and the final section is the grammar. So there's 3 areas for me in relation to the yellow, and we've grammar, we have tenses, and we have use of English. So this is very, very important document. It's the same every day, and during my class I mention and use a lot of technical vocabulary. So at the beginning of the class it's necessary that you are clear and that you understand the technical vocabulary, because it's important. During the class I use the technical vocabulary a lot, and the technical vocabulary is phrasal verbs, idioms, okay, conversations clear. Then we have the tenses, we have the simple, we have the past simple, present simple, future simple, okay. We have the continuous, we have the present continuous, past continuous, future continuous. These are the different times and the different tenses when we speak. We also have the perfect, the present perfect, the past perfect, and the future perfect. So during the class I mention these tenses very frequently and a lot, so they're very, very important. Also the term infinitive. So the infinitive is the base or the foundation of the verb with to go, to eat, to drink. This is the infinitive. We also have conditionals, which is related to if. We have the zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, mixed conditional. In the book the theory is a little heavy and a little difficult, but in reality it's less strict in my opinion, and it's basically related to if. If it rains today, I will not go to the shop. This is the conditional, okay. We also have the idea of the active and the passive, very important. Subject, verb, object is the active, and to change the position is the passive, okay. So these are the technical concepts that are very important. I have explained in detail in January and in February in every class in the morning. I have explained in detail, but today I'm just going to say the words, okay. And then finally, okay, noun, article, we have the idea of countable, uncountable, which is very important for how much and how many. We also have adjectives, so the position of adjective is before the noun. We have the comparative and the superlative. The comparative is with the adjective big, bigger, biggest, tall, taller, tallest. They're regular, but we have a lot of irregular comparative. Interesting, more interesting, most interesting. It depends on the syllable of the word. The general rule, it depends on the syllable. We have adverbs, so the function of the adverb is to describe the verb. We have modal verbs. So modal verbs, we have a list, and they're basically related to ability, permission, possibility, options, advice, and recommendation. They're the 6 or 7 obligation. They're the 7 ideas. We use the modal verbs: can, could, may, might, shall, should, ought to, must. And during the class I identify the significance and I identify the modal verbs. Prepositions are a big part of English. Prepositions are little words, and they can change the significance completely of a sentence. They're basically related to position: in the room, on the table, under the table, over the table, beside, below. Position, direction, you walk to the city, you walk to the shop, and movement, you go across the road. So they're very, very important. They're basically related to movement, direction, and position. And we use prepositions all the time. Prepositions are a big part of phrasal verbs. Remember, the idea of the phrasal verb is the verb plus the preposition. It's possible a literal significance, but it's also possible a completely different second significance. And this is the area of phrasal verbs, okay? This area is a bit tricky. We have possessive adjective, possessive pronoun, object pronoun, and they're the 3 areas. For example, my hat, your hat, his hat, her hat. The hat is mine, the hat is yours, the hat is his, the hat is hers. Or give the hat to me, give the hat to you, give the hat to him, give the hat to her. Tricky, particularly in relation to masculine and feminine. His hat, her hat, it is his, it is hers, number 2. Or give the hat to him, give the hat to her. That area in particular with masculine and feminine is the trickiest and most important. But then we have demonstratives: this, that, these, and those. We also have determiners, basically another, other, the others I will explain during the class. We also have the questions, how to construct the question. The area of the suffix and the prefix is very important. So the little word at the end of the word, the little ending, represents and indicates the form of the word. This is example a substantive or a noun. IZE is a verb, ABLE is typically adjective, LY is typically adverb, pre is before, and typically in a noun, etc., etc. So they're very, very important, the study of prefixes and suffixes, okay? Conjugations or linkers. We have some simple linkers: and, but, or, but we also have some more advanced linkers, although, however, as long as in order that, so it can change from simplicity to a bit more difficult. Okay, here we have mitigators, intensifiers, plural nouns, specific vocabulary, and writing. So writing is a very important skill, and I recommend that you try regularly to practice writing, try regularly to practice speaking, try regularly to practice listening, and try regularly to practice reading. They're the 4 areas that are key, and also to study grammar. That will help you, but you need every day to do a little of everything. Okay, exam preparations are very important. There's the Cambridge exams, the first certificate, advanced certificate, proficiency certificate, and there's the IELTS exams. Okay, I have specific webinars every day in relation to different topics, and on Thursday we have the advanced exam, Wednesday afternoon we have the IELTS webinar, and tomorrow at 1 o'clock we have the first certificate webinar. You can see all the information in the event section. Okay, and that's the key. So that's grammar. You can see the topic. The other topic were the tenses, or was the tenses. When we speak in different tenses in English, but the most important for me is probably the use of English. So basically the use of English is different English around the world. We have different accents in Ireland, we have an accent in Dublin, an accent in Cork, an accent in Belfast, an accent in Donegal. So every place you have English, you have a little different accents, and people speak with different velocities. So it's very difficult when you try to learn English, all these factors. And in Ireland we have some specific pronunciation and phonetic issues, particularly maybe for me. For example, the U is very strong, Dublin, butter, bus, but phonetically it could be Dublin, butter, bus. So just be careful with the U and the TH, and I will show you during the class the important points. The phrasal verbs, I said already, are key, and we use phrasal verbs all the time with family, in simple conversations, in complicated situations. Every area of English has phrasal verbs, and they're so important. Basically it's a verb plus a preposition. It's possible literal, exact significance, but it's also possible completely different significance, and this is the area of the phrasal verbs. Idioms are like expressions, so we again use thousands of idioms every day to make English more interesting, to make it funnier, to make it more entertaining. So expressions are a big part of English, and conversation and pronunciation. So my focus during the class is probably use of English, but I do explain every part of English during the class. Okay, so now I want us to look at some listening practice. So this website is very good. It's called Listening Inglés, and it's on YouTube. Okay, and they give listenings to every level, and this is level B2. So this is typical from the Cambridge exam, for example, but it's excellent listening practice, and I hope with the computer you can hear everything very clearly. So this is just part 1. Obviously it's very small at the moment, but I will increase the picture and you can see everything. So I will make the picture bigger, but you can see question 1 ABC, question 2 ABC, question 3, question 4, question 5, 6, 7, 8 questions ABC. So this is multiple choice. Now I will show you question 1, and you can try and read first and then try to answer the question, and the same with question 2. Okay, look at the script, we will look at the text, and word for word we will check the vocabulary. Okay, so the first question is, you hear a restaurant manager talking about the cooks. So the cooks are the people who work in the kitchen, who work for him. What does he say about them? Okay, I think the quality is a bit better if we go a little bit further. I think the quality is a bit better. So what does he say about the cooks is the question. A, the cooks dislike cleaning tasks. They do not like cleaning jobs. Tasks is like tarea in Espanol. B, they have a choice of jobs. Okay, that's the second option. Or C, they help to decide the menu. So they're the 3 options, and it's necessary for you to listen clearly and carefully to the audio, and hopefully we can catch the significance of the answer. Okay, number 2, you hear a woman talking about a new book. What does she particularly like about the book? It is educational, it is well organized, it is enjoyable. Okay, so they're the first two we will look at, and let's begin. I think at the beginning we have time. So this is the introduction, and I will let you listen to the introduction, and in the time you can read the questions, okay?
This is the Cambridge First Certificate in English listening test. Test 1. I'm going to give you the instructions for this test. I'll introduce each part of the test and give you time to look at the questions. At the start of each piece, you'll hear this sound.
Okay, so I think that's just an introduction. I will go forward to the beginning.
The cooks arrive at about... They have a choice of jobs.
Okay, here we go.
C. They help to decide the menu.
Good luck.
As restaurant manager, I feel responsible for the quality of the food we serve. So it's up to me to check the ingredients that have been delivered overnight to make sure they are of sufficient quality and to produce a menu for the day. The cooks arrive at about 10 a.m. to prepare lunch, and I'll take them through the menu. Because lunch is concentrated over a short period of time, it can get very busy and very hot. But unlike some kitchens, we tend to divide the jobs up according to who likes doing what, and that includes cleaning pots and pans and clearing the place before dinner.
Okay, this is the second time.
As restaurant manager, I feel responsible for the quality of the food we serve. So it's up to me to check the ingredients that have been delivered overnight to make sure they are of sufficient quality and to produce a menu for the day. The cooks arrive at about 10 a.m. to prepare lunch, and I'll take them through the menu. Because lunch is concentrated up according to who likes doing what, and that includes cleaning pots and pans and clearing the place before dinner.
Okay, brilliant. So that's a really good example of one question, one extract, one piece. I hope it was understandable more or less, number one. Number two, you have to identify the answer. So maybe you want in the Facebook Live to put your answer. So what do you think is the answer? Do you think the cooks dislike cleaning jobs or tasks? Do you think the cooks have a choice of jobs, or do you think the cooks help to decide the menu? What is your opinion? What is your answer? You can write the answer in Facebook comment, okay? And now this is very interesting because this document will give us the vocabulary and the expressions on the text. So I love this page because it's really, really good quality on YouTube. They give you the answers, they give you the script, and they give you the audio. Okay, so the name is Listening Inglés. I will show you later, but this is the script. So this is exactly what he said. So he said, as restaurant manager, I feel responsible for the quality of food we serve. And I'll just move my picture so we can see everything, and more or less you can see it all. So it's up to me to check the ingredients that have been delivered overnight to make sure they are of sufficient quality and to produce a menu for the day. The cooks arrive at about 10 a.m. to prepare lunch, and I'll take them through the menu. Okay, because lunch is concentrated over a short period of time, it can get very busy and very hot, but unlike some kitchens, we tend to divide the jobs up according to who likes doing what, and that includes cleaning pots and pans. Okay, in relation to vocabulary and in relation to expressions, the first point is as. So when you work, it's very important you say, I work as a doctor, work as a teacher, work as a nurse. So in your profession, it's very important as. You work as a doctor, because in Spanish it's como and the mistake is like. So in a profession, you are as. You work as a restaurant manager. I feel, so this is the subject, this is the verb, this is the adjective, okay, and it's typical, the preposition for. I am responsible for the school, I am responsible for the child, responsible for, that's the typical combination, okay. The quality of the food we serve, so this is the subject and this is another verb, okay. This expression is the most difficult, so it's up to me, okay. This is like a phrasal verb, it's very important. Basically, it's up is the movement, to direction, up to me. So it's in relation to decisions in the context of making decisions. So it's your decision, no. It's his decision, no. Next person, no. It goes up, so it's my decision, my responsibility. Because one person said no, the next person, no. The next person makes the decision. So it's up to me. So it's your responsibility. Very common in conversation, very typical with friends. For example, the party on Saturday, you need to decide the location, and one friend does not make the decision, another friend does not make the decision, next friend, no, the final friend, yes, makes the decision. It's up to me. It's my responsibility, okay, to check the ingredients that have been delivered. So this is the verb to deliver, but we have the extra verb to be. So I think this is maybe the example of the passive, because the company deliver the food to the restaurant, but the food or the ingredients was delivered. So this is an example of the passive, because really the ingredients are the object. So the active, the company deliver ingredients to the restaurant, but the ingredients have been delivered. So it's the passive, but it's also in the present perfect. Difficult, complicated, advanced structure, but it's the passive, okay, pasivo in Espanol. Overnight, good vocabulary. It's very typical with your friends. When you are a teenager, you stay with your friend overnight. So to stay overnight has the significance that you stay in the one place. You do not travel home. You stay overnight. We have an expression as well in English, overnight success. An overnight success is somebody who is very successful suddenly. Just in one night, you're a very big success. It's a metaphor, but it's an overnight success. And I'll just put the vocabulary here because we need to type a lot. An overnight success. Okay, we can say to stay overnight, and that's a good expression. And then also previously the vocabulary is up to me, up to you. I hope my connection is okay. I see I have a comment about connections. I hope the internet is okay. Up to me, up to you. The significance is your responsibility. Okay, very, very good expression, very typical. It's up to me, it's up to you. Also, we can say it's down to you, okay? Down to you or down to me. And that means similar context, very, very similar, almost the same. It means everybody is depending on you for your action. Everybody is depending on you, on your decision, on your move. So it's up to you or down to you. They are very, very typical and good vocabulary, okay? No problem. The cooks, so you can say the cooks, because the verb is to cook. Number one, a cook is arguably a person. Well, it is a person, but the most typical in my opinion is a chef. So if you work in the kitchen, you are a chef, okay? But the cook is another way to say it, but you need to be careful because a cooker is the machine or the object in the kitchen. The cooker is all the content, all the utility. Okay, a cooker is the machine. So basically a cook is a person, a chef is a person, but a cooker is the machine. And this is confusing because normally ER is for the person, but in this case it's the object in the kitchen, okay? So here the cooks or the chefs arrive. At is the specific preposition for time. I meet my friend at 6 o'clock. I meet my other friend at 7 o'clock. At is for specific time to prepare lunch, and I will take them through. Okay, this I take you through, you take me through. It's exercise is a perfect example, and the significance is I show you, I teach you, I basically show. Muestrar in Espanol. I show you the exercise, I show you the instructions, I show you the method, I show you the secrets and the tips. I take you through the exercise. So it's like to show or to teach, okay? And here in this context, in the cooks, we have the example, take them through the menu. So example, the main chef, the principal manager, explains the chef, shows the menu and teaches the menu to all the cooks. Very, very good example. Because lunch is concentrated over a short period of time. It can get. This is an example of the modal verb, because modal verb is ability. So it can get, and I see we have a question. So remember, the big rule after the modal verb, we have the next verb in the infinitive. Okay, so can is the modal, and get is another verb, to get. So, for example, I can go, I can drink. So the big rule, after the modal verb, the next verb, normally infinitive, but it's an exception in the modal. We eliminate to. So it's correct, I can get, I can go, and the incorrect, I can to go, I can to drink. So just a little detail and little important. Get here is the significance to become. So you can get tired, you can get hungry, and the significance is to become. Okay, so to get and to become have the same significance. You can also say to obtain, to reach, or to arrive, or to achieve. So to get is incredibly flexible. We have a lot of significances with to get, and here are the majority and the most of the significance: to get, to become, to obtain, to reach, to arrive, and to achieve. Okay, so here it's become, so it can get very, very busy and very hot, but unlike, so this is the negative in comparison. You are like your brother, you are like your sister in comparison, but you are unlike your cousin. You are not similar, so it's a negative. Okay, some kitchens, the difference between kitchen and chicken is classic, because some people confuse the two, so you need to be very, very careful. They're very different. Kitchen is the place, it's the location where you cook, and the chicken is the food, so completely different significance, and some people confuse the two, okay, which is strange. We tend to divide up is the phrasal verb. Okay, to divide up is basically the same to divide, like to separate. You have the collection of jobs and you divide up the jobs. Okay, so it's just a little more emphasis. There's no real big difference in the significance with divide. According to is important, like según in Espanol, según. So according to my friend, according to you, according to the man, according to the woman. It's very important because he said. So according to you, according to him. It's when somebody makes the comment and you believe the comment and you pass the comment. So according to him, according to her, very, very important. In Espanol, según. Okay, according to who likes doing what. And this is the key for the answer, because they separate the jobs depending on who likes what job. Okay, cleaning pots and pans. And the vocabulary for a pot and pans is, in the kitchen, a pot is the object to put the water, to boil the egg. In the kitchen you have the pot, or to make the soup, you make the soup in a pot. And a pan is the object that you fry. So you have the egg and you fry the egg or the pancake in the pan. Okay, so important, pot and pan. And that is the most important vocabulary from that expression. And I think we have a comment. So let me see. It's like to introduce. That would be in relation to introduce is a synonym of, can you remind me of the word you think is the same as to introduce? So let me see. I don't know what word you said to introduce, but I'll leave that here for a minute and take through. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So it's like to show or to teach, maybe at the beginning. So to introduce, so exactly, it could be almost the same as to introduce. Really good question and very, very good phrasal verb. Okay, so this is in Spanish, según. So that is the vocabulary from the first listening. Now I will play the listening again just to give you the answer. The answer was B. Okay, the answer was B. They have a choice of jobs. Okay, that was the correct answer. Now I will press play and hopefully we can listen again. So I'll make this very, very small for the moment and we can read the text at the same time. So I'm going to go back to the start and hopefully we might lose. Let's see.
To make sure they are...
You hear a restaurant manager talking about the cooks who work for him.
Okay.
What does he say about them?
Ready?
A. They dislike cleaning tasks. B. They have a choice of jobs.
They have a choice of jobs.
C. They help to decide the menu.
Okay.
As restaurant manager, I feel responsible for the quality of the food we serve. So it's up to me to check the ingredients that have been delivered overnight to make sure they are... Lunch is concentrated over a short period of time. It can get... But, includes cleaning pots and pans.
Very clearly, so this is an easy example, I think, because I think we're back live on, yes, so sorry to everybody, we lost the screen for a minute, so now I'm going to go back to Zoom and I will share the screen. So I think there was a little problem with the connection, so hopefully you can see my screen now again. Thank you to everybody in the chat who told me about the problem. So let me just check we still have everybody in the meeting. So if you're still here, please let me know and leave a comment because I lost my box. Share. Okay, perfect. Yeah, now we're back. We're back. Okay. So thank you so much for your patience. So that's the end of the listening. To two good examples from the listening. The second one was very good because she speaks very, very quickly and very fluently and very good vocabulary. So I can close this, and now I'm going to close the YouTube channel as well, and I want to show you an article now. Okay, so this is the article from the BBC, and it's, maybe you are familiar with the story already. It's the story in relation to the BBC and the Suez Canal. There was a little accident, I think, with the boat, so you can see the boat, and the Suez Canal is normally a busy place for transportation. And I will just practice the reading and I will then check the vocabulary. Okay, so the Suez blockage is holding up $9.6 billion of goods a day. Okay, so the first expression is to hold up, and that's in relation to a delay. Okay, so to hold up a meeting is to delay. Okay, traffic is held up, is very typical as well. Traffic is held up and the significance is delayed. Okay, so remember the difference between to hold up a meeting and to hold a meeting is completely different. So to hold a meeting, holding up the blockage. So remember the verb is to block and the noun is the blockage. Okay, so the verb is to block and the noun is blockage. So very important situation, very important vocabulary. And it's possible, excuse me, but it's possible in the bathroom. You can have blockage in the toilet, you can have blockage in the kitchen, in the sink. So it's good vocabulary. Most people understand block, but the block goods is very important as well. In relation to business, in relation to sales, you have the goods, and the goods are the products. Okay, so the goods is a synonym for the product. Is a synonym of products. Very important. And also the numbers, when you pronounce numbers in English, it's very interesting as well, the accuracy, and you're very precise. $9.6 billion. Okay, and it's by Justin Harper and it's for BBC News. Okay, so I see my internet is still a little bit weak. I hope it's not difficult. So I will read and we will check the vocabulary because some excellent vocabulary. The stranded Ever Given mega container ship in the Suez Canal is holding up an estimated $9.6 billion of goods each day, according to, already we have seen this según in Espanol, according to shipping data information. This works out at $400 million an hour in trade along the waterway, which is a vital passageway between east and west. Okay, data from shipping expert Lloyd's List values the canal's westbound traffic at roughly $5.1 billion a day and eastbound daily traffic at around 4.5 billion. Despite efforts to free the ship, it could take weeks to remove, experts say. Okay, and then one or two more paragraphs. Here, the Ever Given, this is the name of the boat. The Ever Given, operated by the Taiwanese company Evergreen Marine, is the length of 4 football pitches and one of the world's biggest container vessels. The 20,000 ton ship, okay, is capable of carrying 20,000 containers. Its blockage is causing huge tailbacks of other ships trying to pass through the canals, the Suez Canal. Okay, So the first paragraph, this vocabulary is very important. Stranded is the adjective, okay? Ever Given is the name, and mega ship container is the adjective. Ship is the noun, so the ship is the noun, and the stranded, evergreen, they're all adjectives, okay? But this one's very important, in particular, stranded. It's related to the beach. So in Dublin, you have a beach called Sandymount, and you have Dollymount. They're the beaches in Dublin, but a strand is a part, a little piece of the beach is a strand, okay? So it's isolated. This part of the beach, this piece of the beach is isolated from the other. So this is a metaphor in relation to life and other situations. If you travel to Ireland before the pandemic and then the pandemic starts, you are isolated. It's not possible for you to travel, so you are stranded, okay? So stranded has the significance isolated. And really, really good vocabulary, really common. So it's very common in situations. If you are stranded, you have no way to go home, you need help. So it's an emergency, it's a very key word. So here, the boat cannot move, it cannot escape, it is stranded. Holding up is delay, goods are the product, and according to is según in Espanol, okay? And data is like information. The second paragraph, works out. Okay, so this works out in relation to calculation. So if you have the mathematics, you have the numbers, you need to work out the answer. So to work out is a significant to calculate, number one, and of course number two in the gym. If you work out, the significance is you're exercising, number two, but number one is to find the answer. You have the problem and you need to work out the problem, you need to work out the answer. So really good. And here it's like to solve or to calculate. So to work out really means to solve or to calculate, okay? And trade is very important as well. Trade is like business or commerce. So the verb is to trade, and the noun is trade, and the adjective is trading. So you trade with me, it's like to do business or to do commerce. So the verb is to trade, and it's like exchange, okay? The trade to exchange are typical for commerce or business. Okay, no problem. Waterway is just another name for a canal. So the waterway is just another name, a synonym for a river or for a canal, probably specifically to transport products. So the waterway is specifically to transport the products. And here it's the relative pronoun, which is a vital passageway, which is very, very similar to waterway. But waterway is the way, obviously with water, and passageway is the way that you can pass. So there's no real big difference between east and west, no problem. The next word is difficult, westbound, okay? And this word is very important, also roughly, very, very important. So westbound, the first situation is the adjective bound. You are bound for Amsterdam, so that means your direction. You are going to Amsterdam, you're on the way to Amsterdam. It's related to boundary, okay? So originally it's related to boundary. So you travel, okay, and the boundary of your travel is Amsterdam. So you are bound for Amsterdam is the logic, it's the explanation. That's very, very important, number one. We also use it as an suffix, inbound adjective. So the aeroplane is inbound, the significance is the aeroplane is traveling in here, okay? And the opposite, the aeroplane is outbound, as the significance is traveling out. So inbound and outbound are very important, really good vocabulary. And here westbound is logical, so it's in the direction of the west. So really good vocabulary, a little advanced but very good quality. Roughly also, okay, so just before we finish this, I'll give you an example. You are bound to pass your exam. Very, very good example. So basically, if you continue this way, you continue studying, you continue working, you are bound to pass the exam. So the end result, the final result, is the probability you will pass the exam. Very, very typical structure. You are bound to make friends. If you move to a new city, you are bound to make friends. Very common, very difficult, very fluent, and very advanced. So that's a good structure. You are bound to make friends. Roughly is very important as well. Okay, so rough is the adjective. and it's very common and used in lots of situations. Number one, with the water. So if the water is very calm, the water is very simple, the opposite is rough. So the water is very crazy, the sea is very crazy, the sea is rough. Okay, number one. It's possible your day, you had a good day, you had an easy day, number one, but you had a rough day, a very difficult day, a very hard day. Okay, so a rough day, a rough week. It's possible a rough person. Okay, so a rough person is maybe a very difficult person, because a simple person is easy, no problem, but a rough person is very maybe aggressive, lots of instability, so very good vocabulary. Okay, but in relation to roughly, the significance is approximately. So the opposite is exact, so exactly 10 euro, but roughly 10 euro. So it's not exact. So really good example, it's like approximately, roughly, really common. Okay, so roughly is approximately. Daily traffic at around approximately. Okay, so good vocabulary, and I'm just checking the connection is okay. Despite is a pesar de in Espanol, so despite in the other languages, I'm going to write here because it's a key word, and also we have to remember the difference between despite and in spite of, and here is the translation, I think. Yes, okay, so here's all the languages: Arabic, Chinese, Croatian, Czech, Dutch, French, German, Hebrew, Hindi, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Romanian, Spanish, Swahili, okay, Swedish, Thai, Vietnamese. No Filipino and no Indonesian for the dictionary. It just doesn't have it, okay? But we need to be careful, because we say despite has the same significance as in spite of. That's the key. You need to be very careful, because the error, the typical error, people say despite of. That's the error, because no, with of we say in spite of, and despite we use no preposition. Okay, despite the weather, despite the problem, with a noun. Okay, but the typical structure after is the verb in the ing, despite going, despite eating, despite having, and it's the same here, in spite of, with the ing. Effort. So normally we say to make an effort. Okay, that's the verb, to make an effort, number one, and then the noun is effort, as you can see. It's like some attempt, or that's another vocabulary, an attempt or a try. They're the typical nouns and the typical vocabulary. Okay, so an effort, an attempt, a try, and here is the verb to free, like to liberate. It could take, in relation to time, we also say last. It could last 2 weeks. Okay, so the movie lasts 1 hour. That means basically it takes. So the movie lasts 1 hour, or the movie takes 1 hour. Okay, and you can also say the adjective everlast. You always. It's just an example, because I don't think it's the truth, because I think it's only temporary. Okay, and then the next paragraph, just let's check if there's any important vocabulary. The length, so this is the noun, the length, so the adjective is long. Okay, so I was going to let you answer, but long is the adjective and length is the noun. So there are a lot of words in English like this. For example, wide is the adjective and the noun is width. Strong is the adjective and the noun is strength. Yeah, we have a lot of important structures like this. And for football pitches, so a pitch is like a campo, a football pitch. And remember, yesterday we explained the vocabulary to pitch is like to throw. Okay, to pitch you an idea. In baseball, the pitch the ball is to throw. So to pitch you an idea is to throw an idea at you. We also say a sales pitch as well. which is your attempt, your try to sell the product. It's your sales pitch. Okay, so really good. But in sport, you have the football pitch. Capable, no problem. Capable in Espanol, it has the ability, so you can see it's related to the family able and ability. Causing, huge, so this is very important vocabulary, huge tailbacks. Huge has the significance enormous, huge difficulties, enormous difficulties, gigantic difficulties. Okay, so huge is very important, significance is really, really big. Okay, really, really big. And tailback is very, very interesting. Okay, so a tailback, maybe you understand a tail. So with the animal you have the tail, un cola in Espanol, I think. So a tail, but in relation to traffic, when we describe traffic, you have a tail of traffic because it's a line of traffic and it continues back. So a tailback is specific in relation to traffic when you have a big delay or a traffic jam. Okay, a traffic jam is a little different because traffic jam, because marmalade, when you make marmalade, you have the fruit and you crush the fruit to make the marmalade. So to jam is this action, to jam. It's like to crush. So traffic jam is the same concept because you crush the traffic and it's everybody's condensed. And it's also maybe possible to jam the computer, to jam the radio. It's broken because it's damaged. Okay. So a tailback is the line, but a traffic jam is possible 3 or 4 cars together condensed, but the tailback is maybe just single line possibly. Okay. Other, remember the rule, another is for singular, another ship, but because it's other, it's plural. Okay, so here I'm going to write the example, another ship, but other ships. Okay, so because it's plural, we need to say other. And then here's the phrasal verb, to pass through is just really to go through. Through is a través in Espanol, to pass through, to go through the Suez Canal. Okay, so here you can see the incredible picture, the incredible map. So this is the Mediterranean and the Suez Canal, and these dots, the black dots, are the ships. No problem, no problem. But this red dot is the block. So this red ship had the accident and it's blocking all the traffic. So here you can see the tailback, the traffic jam. Okay, so really crazy situation. Through, it's not possible. So excellent example, excellent map. And I think the vocabulary, anything more, yeah, no problem. I think because these 3 paragraphs are more or less the same. That's good. I'm sorry if the connection was really bad. I hope you can understand everything, and I know